Back inside the Family Arena, Lewis leads at the half over Wisconsin Parkside 49-34. Joining us now is the Commissioner of the Great Lakes Valley Conference, Jim Naumovich. And Jim, what a week of basketball we've had.
Yeah, some outstanding display of Division II basketball showcased here at Family Arena. Terrific job by all 16 teams that made it to here, and it was a reward for a grueling regular season, but just the quality of play starting Thursday with the women's quarterfinals and now, into the finals today, and Max Drews with a big three at the buzzer. But I think it's just a clear indication of the talent level that we have in the GLVC with our women's and men's basketball programs. One
of the things we mentioned during our broadcast all week long is the parity amongst all the member institutions, and it seems like it's not just at one sport; it's across the board in all sports now.
Well, I think that starts at the top. We have very, very good athletic directors. We get great support from our council presidents. I know you had Dr. Lombardi on earlier today, but it starts there. I mean, there is a focus that everybody wants to have a competitive athletic program in the GLVC across the board. When we started in '78, we had 6 charter schools, and it was a men's basketball league, and the vision for the league was let's expand beyond men's basketball. That has continued. Basketball in general to be our flagship sport, but it's across the board now where we are a national player in sports across all of the spectrum, fall, winter, and spring.
Talk about the Bellarmine Knights women's basketball team. A school playing with a heavy heart this week in the passing of Dr. McGowan. First talk about the women's championship, and then talk a little bit about Dr. McGowan.
Well, no better way to pay tribute to a great man than to have a GLVC championship brought home to Louisville by the Knights, and they did a terrific job. Jay would have been here. He was a fixture at this tournament. He loved it. He would bring his executive committee. It was a priority for him, and it was his way of supporting the Bellarmine student athletes and the GLVC in general. So Chancellor Dugan's done a terrific job with the program. She's got a great legacy in the GLVC when she was at USI, and that's continued now at Bellarmine. So hats off to Bellarmine on a great GLVC championship and a tournament championship.
This is the 3rd championship in 4 weeks for the GLVC. A lot of things can't be done here, especially this week, without some of its corporate partners.
Right. We're very indebted to the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau. Joe Ward and Greg Maxson have helped us out tremendously. Cry Distributing has helped us out, Pepsi-Cola here, and then the folks at the Sheraton Westport Hotel, the Chalet and the Plaza have been really outstanding partners with us. They've taken such good care of our teams and the GLVC's tournament staff and officials. So it's been a very good home for us the last 2 years, and Family Arena and the staff here have done a remarkable job.
You get to unwind for a couple weeks before the spring championships start up. What are you looking forward most to the springtime?
Well, actually, we've taken on a new event. After the men's and women's basketball regionals next weekend, we're hosting the Midwest Region Crossover Baseball Showcase. So there'll be GLVC, GLIAC, and GMAC teams coming together at Grand Park in Westville, Indiana for a crossover event. So we've kind of taken the lead from our office of organizing that. So although it's not a conference championship, it'll be 24 games, 13 teams over 3 days organizing that. So that's a new, we didn't have enough going on already. We took on another event. But for the spring, for the student athletes, you just hope that they are able to compete in nice weather. That it's not miserable out as they take to the golf course, the tennis courts, the baseball, the softball field, and the track as we get ready for the spring, so that it's a good experience for them.
You talk about the crossover. I know there's a crossover event with volleyball. There's also crossover in basketball, now baseball. How important is something like that for the conference, for exposure, and also when it comes to regional rankings, how important is it for the conference?
Well, we did it, and we have done it for the last several years with volleyball, and it's been really quite beneficial because now it provides head-to-head results with teams, non-conference in-region teams. So for the selection committee, it really helps to determine who's the best 8 teams that should represent all 3 conferences now in the region. And so it's worked very well in volleyball, and we'll see how it goes in baseball. I think, we see a lot of conference challenge events in basketball, but the difference there is the schools are organizing those events on their own, and that's fine. In volleyball and in baseball, it's the conference offices that are responsible for the administration and planning of it. And we will probably look sooner than later looking at something for softball as well.
Commissioner, thank you as always for being here and also supporting what we do with GLVC Sports Network.
John, appreciate you and Jim being out here and kudos to all the students that took part in the extra credit program. They did a remarkable job.
They were wonderful all
really
week.
were.
There's a good group of students that are getting ready to do some bigger and better things coming out of the GLVC.
And as we thank Jeff Smith did a great job coordinating that from the conference office staff. And if I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Tanya Charlin and Lindsey Williams and Denisha Carter along with Jeff for the time and effort they put in on this event prior to, during, and after everybody leaves, the work that goes on to tear down and get back to Indianapolis. I've got a remarkable staff and very grateful for their help.
GLVC Commissioner Jim Naumovich joins us. We'll step aside. We'll come back. We'll have halftime stats and get you ready for second half action. You have the 2016 GLVC Men's Basketball Championship here on the GLVC Sports Network, where champions are crowned.